So last week I recorded this video. Originally I wanted to make what I eat in a week video, but then I realized that I do not follow a diet. Everything I eat can vary, but I do follow a health diet, meaning that there are things that my physiology cannot digest at all, from mild intolerant symptoms to severe. In general, I think I follow a Mediterranean diet because I am from a Mediterranean area and I do have Mediterranean ancestry. But there are some influences because when I was a kid, I was raised in the north of Italy. I am Italian, but I am originally from Gallipoli, Kalè Polis, which is from ancient Greek, and it means the beautiful city. We were part of the ancient Greek Empire. They called my city the beautiful city. By total chance, this video was recorded in the week of the dead, so between the end of October and the beginning of November. I am also going to share some adaptations or original versions of food that comes from my family traditions here and that is connected to my city. Specifically, my physiology cannot digest gluten, lactose, dairy, and refined carbs. I do not have the celiac disease, but I still do not digest gluten. I tried to reintegrate it, but I couldn't. Instead, to dairy, recently on blood tests, I discovered that my reactions worsened and the pain increased and it became so unbearable, even when I was just eating traces, because I have a severe level of intolerance. So I really cannot eat it at all. Thankfully, just for ingestion, not at the touch. Thankfully, the allergy is mild, but the intolerant symptoms are extremely bad and I really cannot afford it. By the way, this is a woolen jacket that my grandmother made for me. She was a very talented seamstress and I feel connected to her when I think of food because, you know, especially southern Italian grandmothers are all about food sometimes. But food is also a good moment to spend time with those you love, with those you live with, and just celebrate life a little. So I'm going to share different things I eat. Some of them are adaptations, considering my medical conditions. If you've just discovered these conditions for yourself, I hope that you can see that you do not have to leave behind traditions of your city, that you can adapt them, or maybe there are some that you can eat however they are because maybe they don't bother your system. I actually reconnected with my ancestry a lot, realizing that way back in the past, coastline populations didn't really eat dairy as much as they ate fish, for example, and I can totally digest fish. So I started reconnecting with that, also because we originally came from a family of fishermen. Now it is Sunday lunch and I really have to go join my mother, my uncle and my cat, Batuffala. You're not going to see what my cat eats, maybe I can do a different video for that. And now I'll leave you to the video. Keep in mind, this is not all I eat. These are just examples from that week. But I eat many different things, so I just have to adapt them to what I can digest. And I hope you
started on Tuesday filming this experimental dessert. It's made of oats and cocoa and brown sugar. I really adored it. We paired it with other things though. Another dessert that I adore is traditional from my city. You're going to see it in 3, 2, 1. Here it is. We call them rapeste fritte, which means fried sweet potatoes. And I really adore it. My grandma always used to make it and we always fry them. It's delicious and I think they're also good with sugar, but we're limited sugar, so we just put salt. And this is the experimental dessert that I made. I actually adored it. My mother thought that it was a little bit plain. This is why I'm going to show you some syrups and jams and juice that we eat. Yeah, we do also eat fries that are frozen, and we have to cook them again. Sometimes we eat tin food or food that is stored in glass. Just not all the time. We also prefer fresh food, local, and possibly organic. Or sometimes, if it's not local, at least it is organic from organic brands. And I'm going to link something down below. Here I am making a porridge. You will see vegetables pretty much in every meal. If it's not vegetables, it is fruit. Basically, yeah. Veggies like greens or peppers this week. It depends on the week. We eat various types of vegetables, so we eat various species of fruit, but this week we were eating mainly peppers, broccoli. You saw it before. I eat meat as well, not a lot of it, but I do eat meat and fish almost daily. Sometimes I just eat legumes. You'll see that in the video. So for dinner I was making my favorite pasta that I can eat. So I really adore pasta with this oat cream. I cannot eat regular cream. So I think this is an amazing substitute. It tastes amazing, but only paired with something else. Like, I don't like the flavor of it by itself. I like it paired with other ingredients. So yeah, you are going to see a gluten-free standard pasta that contains corn inside. This is why it looks yellow. But it was one of the last boxes because my switch to not just gluten-free but also refined-carb free was recent. Therefore, we're not going to waste, and we were still eating a little bit of the corn and rice gluten-free standard pasta that we had. Of course, don't waste, safely. I could do it because I was still a little bit tolerant to it. I had just discovered it, so we just slowly transitioned to a different diet. But of course, there are cases and cases. Not every situation is the same. And there are still ways not to waste them. Like, you can give food away to those in need that do not have the problem, or you can, I don't want to say recycle it, but maybe, when you recycle everything, you follow those directions, it goes back to the earth, because it's not like plastic, so it's organic, and it goes back to the earth. Like, for example, you can compost it if you really cannot do anything and you cannot give it away. It depends on the situation. As you can see, I'm eating lentils. Once again, peppers, different species, but I'm mixing a little bit of tuna and fruit. For dinner, we had, once again, local vegetables, but now you're going to see some breakfast meals as well. When I spray from that bottle, it is still the local olive oil. I like the almond drink too. It's basically water and almonds, totally sugar free. Meaning, of course, added sugar, because we're not doing a biology lesson here, but sugar or refined sugar does not, refer just to carbs like sweeteners and added sugar. It's for carbs in general, like white rice, refined, and brown rice, whole grains rice. It is not refined. As you can see, I am also showing you a little bit of TV shows that I was watching during the week. I watched them at lunch and dinner, or while washing dishes, while cooking. And this time I didn't use organic tin lentils. This time I used fresh lentils. We stored them in jars, but it was naturally storable, meaning it's not like when you store tuna, for example. It was just dry lentils, uncooked. I think that looks really aesthetic, and it will be beautiful to directly buy things that way, that you reuse jars that you have and you buy things that way. I think that's... I do eat strawberries, hazelnut, cocoa drinks, and I make sure that there is brown rice and not a lot of it. This is my cat. Of course I don't eat my cat, but I think she was so cute, so I wanted to include that frame. And here I'm watching The Witcher season 4. Sometimes I have breakfast for dinner too. And fish, finally fresh. We do eat a lot of fresh fish, but sometimes there are weeks when we don't. It's okay. We also eat soups. My mother had made that. You are seeing food that sometimes I make or my mother makes. And as you saw, sometimes I give a little bit of meat that I'm eating to my cat, because it's also good for pets to eat some fresh food, not just canned or stored food. It's also good for them to eat fresh. During the weekend or towards the weekend, I usually bake. I bake something that I can eat during the week. This time I decided to bake some oat flour cookies. Usually, on an ordinary basis, I bake focaccia, so it's like a homemade tall pizza, and then I also bake from the same dog. I bake some bread that I can eat. My cookies are ready, delicious. I think this is pomegranate juice. I am recording this voiceover 2+ weeks later, and that was freshly done. Here, once again, traditional food. Pittule, a gluten-free and dairy-free version of them. That is how we call them here. This is Korean instead, type of Korean omelette that has that shape. You make it in a specific pan that has a square-like, or actually a rectangle-like shape. Some greens, some wild salmon, and that dark purple jar that you saw contains dark olives. They're local and they're from my aunt's countryside. I adore them. They taste so good. Sometimes we do give each other food, like old times. My grandma would be really happy about that. Here I'm petting my cat a little bit, but she is camera shy. She noticed the camera and she hid her face, but also she wanted me to pet her even more. In fact, now she's not shy anymore. This is The Resident, an amazing TV show we've watched on Netflix. I watched it by myself and then we watched it on Sunday lunches because it was amazing, mysterious and funny at the same time. I added nuts to my porridge and I am admiring a shirt my grandmother made. She was, as I told you, a talented seamstress and dressmaker. That shirt is older than me and it's still going and I still love it, and I have more clothes like that. Amazing. And also peppers done that way is something that traditionally in my city we tend to eat a lot, at least in our family. Once again, the local olive oil. While when it comes to wine, it can come from different parts of Italy. I think culture really influences the way we have Indian cultural elements as well, because my mother and I do the transcendental meditation by Maharishi as a relaxation technique, and as it says here, home is where the heart is, and my heart is in my city but also with the people that I love the most, and many of them are here but not all of them, not all the time. So sometimes there are also elements of their culture in what I eat. And I have a special relationship with my grandmother. I think that's clear. And that fork always reminds me of that because she gave it to me together with my favorite matched spoon and teaspoon when we had to leave her house again for my mother's work. While this is a gift from my mother, I adore beautiful tea sets, and this is from Bavaria, Germany. I can use it both for coffee and tea because in Italy it's all about coffee, so that's perfect. I'm going to use it with my guests as soon as I have my own place. And as you can see, I am baking again. This time I'm going to bake that focaccia I told you of. That wasn't all olive oil, it was water. And I used buckwheat flour and oat flour. And then I'm going to just let it rest until it reaches the desired volume because I used yeast as well. Once it's ready, I am going to bake a tall homemade pizza or focaccia, however you want to call it. But of course it will be dairy free, so it will be more like a marinara. There will be black olives as well. So now I'm preparing to bake it. We decided to add some tuna for proteins, and I really adored it. I adored the taste of it. With the rest of the dog, I baked some bread that I am going to use during the week. And sometimes I eat chicken meat, and when I eat it, I give a little bit of it, especially the skin, to my cat. Well, these are examples of other things I eat, both for seeds or different types of pasta that I can eat, and this is my city.